Donald Trump wants to slap 100% tariff on countries that move away from the U.S. dollar. But does he really understand the chaos that it will create? It's easy to throw around big threats, but the consequences of such policies are far from straightforward. Even JP is talking about how the dollar's share of foreign exchange reserves has fallen. As the dollar's dominance fades, the global economy, including America's own, could be thrown into turmoil. And even though Trump may mean well, he's clearly playing a dangerous game with global inflation and economic stability. Let's talk about this. All right, so I want to take a quick minute, share some thoughts in reference to recent comments by former President Donald Trump in reference to how he will respond as nations decide to dump the dollar. But yet, little is he really focusing on the bigger picture, which is that nations have been slowly moving away from U.S. liabilities for quite some time now. So even during his administration, nations were making preparations for this current monetary reset that we're in right now. So in my opinion, it's not too wise to be threatening the rest of the world when they've clearly made a decision as to what reserves they want to hold. And clearly it's gold being reinstated as the international medium that reestablishes trust, because the U.S. has abused their trust with endless wars, deficit spending, and overall monetary malfeasance. So we shouldn't be surprised at all. So in this video, I'm going to share some thoughts in reference to what's going on in the international scene with Trump's recent crypto announcement and his hidden passion for gold. So as always, if you guys want to see more of these little quick updates, hit that thumbs up button. Drop a comment down below, share your thoughts on these videos here so I can get an idea as to what you guys are thinking, and also have a little Discord. And then because this information is something you won't hear from the mainstream media, share this so more people can find out what's going on. And so as of now, it appears that Trump seems aimed at maintaining the U.S. dollar status as the world reserve currency. So he's banking on fear, promising to punish countries that dare to challenge the dollar supremacy. But here's the kicker. South American countries such as Brazil and even Argentina have been discussing a common currency for quite some time now. And that's their way of diversifying away from the dollar so they're not so overly dependent upon it. And then we have BRICS nations, which have already ramped up the idea of trading in local currencies, where it says 65% have already made that shift and are not using dollars. So clearly the dollar's grip on global trade has been weakening for years, with its share of foreign exchange reserves dropping from over 70% in 1999. And of course, oil, a commodity essential to every economy, is still priced in dollars, but the question is for how long? And most recently in this article here, entitled Trump Vows 100% Tariffs on Nations That Snub the Dollar Is a Lose for China and the U.S. Economist, says Hao Hung, the chief economist at Grow Investment Group, made some interesting comments when he said that Trump's plans would hurt not just the U.S., but also China substantially, which will eventually lead to a lose scenario for everybody. In the same article, he went on to say that China's massive export sector has been a key factor in keeping global inflation somewhat in check. And clearly it seems like Trump has forgotten that we have been exporting worthless IOUs while the world has been sending us real tangible goods. So would it be too far-fetched for a nation to no longer want to send real things and get nothing but worthless pieces of paper? But then again, we've been riding high on the hog for close to 100 years. I can see how it's easy to forget that the world doesn't really revolve around the United States of America. But the point is, if Trump imposes 100% tariff on Chinese goods, we can expect inflation in the U.S. to skyrocket. So think about this. Many of the everyday items that you use come from China. So doubling the cost of those goods would be catastrophic for American consumers, especially when inflation is already a problem. And as I mentioned before, within the next couple of months, we can expect that second wave, which is going to make that 2002 40-year inflation wave potentially seem small compared to what lies ahead in the future. Hong's warning is clear. Shifting tariffs away from China could simply push the trade deficit back into the U.S., including our allies like Mexico and Canada. So who wins in this scenario? Not Washington or Beijing, and certainly not the American public, who would see prices climb across the board. So Trump's aggressive stance against those nations that's talking about de-dollarizing sounds tough on paper, but it's a simplistic solution to a complex problem that could come back to bite us in the butt. And if Trump's recent tariffs tough talk isn't enough, in the midst of a monetary reset, someone who knows the fate of the dollar has all of a sudden become a crypto guru, launching World Liberty Financial, which he's claiming is going to be defiant to the banking system. But once again, not quite sure how that's going to work out when the banks are going towards digital assets in the first place. But after 24 hours, looks like the project has been a flop, with only 3.4% of its original 300 million goal reached. And despite the hype, the token sale faltered just a little bit, and it had some technical issues, which only made things worse. So what does this say about Trump's ability to lead in the midst of a monetary reset if him and his team is having issues launching a cryptocurrency? So despite him touting about being a forward thinker and wanting to embrace the future with crypto, this crypto project feels more like a cash grab wrapped in a shiny tech rhetoric. Is this really a leader who's really shaking up global finance while mentioning nothing about gold and USD terms reaching all-time highs, which basically signals that the same dollar he's trying to protect when valued in gold is failing massively? So people forget that Trump has a fascination with gold. He's always had a soft spot for gold. From this replica of the Ark of the Covenant inside Mar-a-Lago, which apparently is gold coated in about 6 pounds of gold, all the way to the Trump store, where he sells lots of gold-plated memorabilia. And then most recently, I bet you know he has a gold watch collection that he's selling for a $100,000 price range, of which not many people can afford, I'm sure. But yet, when it comes to talking about the real value of gold in the global economy, he's suspiciously silent. And clearly he knows the role of gold and how it historically had a role in our monetary system, but it's all about digital assets and dollar supremacy in Trump's speeches these days. So the irony is, while he's pushing crypto tokens and slapping his name on $100,000 watches, he's likely buying up gold for himself. So you won't hear him admit it, but as the world inches closer towards a monetary reset, Trump surely knows that gold is still king. And so between Trump's mix of digital tokens, luxury watches, and golden arcs, these tariff threats don't really add up. And so it's starting to feel more like a game, one where he enriches himself by using his name and likeness, while his fan base are cheering from the sideline and told to be patient while he makes America great again. So the real question we should be asking is Trump positioning himself as a true financial revolutionary that can somehow turn this mess around and grow the economy and figure out some way to pay his $35 trillion off, or most likely be the president that oversees the next national sovereignty debt default, or he's just simply playing politicians' games, protecting his own interests while the public foots the bill. But once again, just taking a minute to try to combine some stories together and let you know an alternative story that not many people are going to be talking about. Because when you only have the illusion of choice between a left and a right side, there's not much room to go up the middle because we're being forced to take a side. So with all that being said, curious to hear what you guys think. Drop a comment down below, share your 2 cents, and as always, I can't leave with just talking about the problem without pointing you in a direction to take advantage of some of the resources. So as always, if you're new in the silver stacking game and want to figure out a way to dollar cost average into your position, as well as getting directly involved in the sector, then I want to encourage you to join the silver team, where my goal is to help families automate their silver purchases, share the opportunity with others, and be rewarded for their efforts. And that starts with actually getting a hold of the silver kit, where you can actually hold some of your silver beauties in a case is given to you as a part of the wealth building program. And so if you guys are interested in finding out more about that, just go to mysilverteam.com and you can get all the information there. And then for my gold bugs that want the most affordable way to get gold, where you can redeem your Federal Reserve notes for as little as $5 and some change, but then again have something that has intrinsic value that will not be going to zero. And those are the great strategy on how to save, and 24 karat gold is a part of an alternative strategy. So once again, if you're interested in finding out more about that, just go to buygoldnotes.com. You can see the different fractional notes that's available for purchase there. But anyway, just share my 2 cents on the matters. Curious to hear what you guys think. If you found value, hit that thumbs up, take this, share it with your family and friends so they can get an alternative perspective, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.